The woman waved her hand casually. The next second, a fat pig weighing over 500 pounds appeared out of thin air. But instead of keeping it for herself, she immediately called a few village women to help carry the pig back. Afterwards, she also asked them to make sure every villager was notified to line up for meat. Soon the news spread through the village like an explosion. In a time of famine, having meat to eat was more unreal than a dream. Villagers rushed over with pots and bowls swarming the place. And when they saw Lucy really giving each person half a pound of pork, they finally believed it wasn't an illusion. Just with a single act of kindness, Lucy instantly won countless goodwill. Even her mother-in-law widened her eyes, unable to believe that the once stingy and cruel woman had suddenly become so generous it was insane. But who could have guessed? The soul inside her had long been replaced. It turned out Lucy had once been a popular farming live streamer, but during a live broadcast she was struck by lightning and directly transmigrated into this era. When she opened her eyes, a computer-like panel appeared before her, filled with all kinds of food and seeds. The rule stated that as long as she earned the villagers' goodwill, she could exchange it for supplies, and even unlock planting and breeding. What was even stranger, the system reminded Lucy that her little niece had a koi-like aura, bringing endless good fortune. Thinking of this, Lucy immediately wanted to rack up some goodwill. The first step, she personally cooked brown rice porridge and served it to the two children, but after waiting a long time nothing happened. Just then, the original body's arrogant son suddenly rushed in, trying to beat his cousin on the spot. Lucy, furious, raised her hand and gave him a slap. At once the system's goodwill value soared by 100. Shocked yet thrilled, Lucy couldn't help but add another slap. Sure enough, goodwill rose another 100. At that moment, the son, both humiliated and angry, pointed at her and roared, swearing he would one day throw her into the deep mountains to feed the dogs. Lucy immediately chased him around the house, beating him wildly, and her niece's goodwill value skyrocketed along with it. Once she had gathered enough goodwill, Lucy immediately exchanged for rice and salt in the system, and cooked a pot of fragrant white rice. When the nieces ate it, their fear instantly vanished. But before she could enjoy the warmth of the moment, her son brought his uncle to snatch the food, even pushing her to the ground. Jack defended himself, claiming he was only there to fetch something. Lucy, clutching her waist, coldly retorted, lying that this was government relief grain, and if they dared to steal it, she'd report them and have them rot in prison. At once the villagers present were furious, forcing Jack to leave in disgrace. However, the villagers still doubted her sudden change, believing she surely had ulterior motives, and all avoided her. Looking at the empty courtyard, Lucy sighed inwardly. Indeed, prejudice was harder to move than mountains. To make amends for the past, she filled a sack with rice, brought her mother-in-law back home, and served white rice to show her sincerity. But in her heart she knew, to truly change the situation, she had to feed more people. So, she went to the back mountain, directly exchanged a fat pig from the system, and just as she was worrying about how to transport it, she ran into several women picking wild vegetables. She immediately promised to share meat in return, and with their help carried the pig down the mountain. Sure enough, after the pig was slaughtered and shared, every woman was delighted, and she successfully gained more goodwill. Striking while the iron was hot, she spread the word throughout the village that everyone could come to claim meat. That day, she became the most dazzling figure in the whole village. Her mother-in-law, however, still shook her head, blaming her for being wasteful, not realizing that this goodwill would be Lucy's greatest wealth. That night, she served a large plate of braised pork, the fragrance wafting into the sky. Her coy niece's goodwill instantly rose by 500 points, and the system's shop unlocked even more functions. Lucy was overjoyed. Counting her harvest of the day, she had gained a full 5,000 goodwill points. She hurriedly exchanged them for supplies, planning to continue her grand strategy the next day. But just as she was preparing to transplant the rice seedlings into the forest to solve the village's food crisis once and for all, a village woman suddenly ran over in panic, shouting urgently, "Something's happened at your home."